Alright, in this video I want to show you how to add some pizzazz to your shapes, a little bit of interest, and also some just kind of getting around tools when you're building forms. Um, Alright, let me start with a basic technique. When you guys you're going to start putting together lots of different shapes to form bigger shapes, and it's going to become an issue because you have more moving parts. So one thing you can consider is to group things together. So let's say that these shapes over here actually relate close together. So if I were just to move this up, you see that to get it the same parallel shape that I had before, I'd have to guess where that was. So I'm going to back that up with Command Z. A better way to do it is to select those two, hit Command G for group, and now they act as one piece. So I can take these and I can put them together right there, and let's say I put that right there and I stack them up, and let's say I take this triangle and I put it up there, and I'm starting to get a sense of closure now with this, what is it, rocket ship. So use grouping, and let's say I get these together in just a minute. You want to group things together so that you can move them and see them as one part. Now, if I wanted these to be spaced evenly, what I would do is select, I'm going to select these, actually the bottom three first. And if you select multiple shapes, look up here to the top in the middle, you'll see the alignment tools. So I'm going to align these horizontally, and you see it actually aligns them right to the edge. And then I'll go ahead and keep that selection. I can also distribute them so that all the space in between is all the same. So let's go ahead and distribute these as well. You see how it spaces down just a little bit. Okay. So I could even include this little bunch. Let's get it all aligned right in the middle, and let's distribute that the same. Now, because this was grouped together, I'm going to back up here. That's a single, that's a single, that's a single. Okay. So if I select all those together, and I want to group this according to the bottom. There we go. And so the bottom edge is what makes all these gaps all the same. So sometimes if you're not sure, try different ones, and if you miss it, hit Command Z to back up, and it will align that the way you want it to. Okay, so it looks good. Now, before I change anything about the spacing, I want to go Command G for group, or you can go up to Object, and there's a group and ungroup up here as well. It also tells you the shortcut next to it at the top. Okay, so this now is one piece that I can move around and I can change as one piece. Alright, let me show you some little techniques for adding interest to your designs and for manipulating your build designs. So I'll just take this star, and what I want to show you here is the warp tools. This is more for a hand sculpted look, and it's found underneath the width tool. Looks kind of like a worm, okay? Worm on a hook. So once you find that, you'll find all the warp tools underneath. I'll show you what each one does, and you can try them out for yourself. Okay, first one is kind of the regular warp tool. It's kind of like clay. You're pushing and pulling with that shape. Okay. Next one is the twirl tool. So I can put it over here in the end and twirl around, and there I have a twirl. If you want to change any of the configurations, like how fast it twirls and how much, double click, and it gives you even things like brush size. You can change angle. Intensity is how fast. Twirl rate would be that. Intensity is how fast it goes with the push of your mouse. And so try those things out as well. Pucker tool. There you go. Just stick it right in the middle and puckers it up. Bloat tool. scallop tool. There you go. Now with scallop tool you can adjust how many scallops, like complexity, details, you can work with the adjustments there. Crystallize tool, similar, and wrinkle tool. And you can see how it wrinkles it up. Okay, so try those tools out. Stick those over here. Another tool set I want you to try out is up here under Effects. So we're going to start under Distort and Transform. And there's one called Roughen. And there's also Pucker and Bloat you can try out. Let's try that one here. Preview each one of these and see what it does. And as you make a configuration, you see here I just took a simple star and now I've changed it into a cool kind of, I don't know, flower pattern. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing here. When you use these effects, it creates a formula view. You see your original star there? So you could still go and manipulate your original star with the white direct selection tool, for instance, if I pulled that out. But it will change the star, but it will keep the configuration, what it's doing to that as you change it. If you're happy with the final shape and you're like, yep, this is it, then you go up to Object, Expand Appearance, and this puts it back to a regular shape, and now you can work with it like a regular shape. Okay, so my star became a flower. Let's go back. Let's go back under Effect, Distort and Transform, and now let's go to Free Distort. I guess we'll hit all of these since they're the important ones here. So in this one you can kind of see what it's going to look like as you change the angles, flip things around. You can distort it here in kind of a line view before you push OK, and it becomes that. Notice again that's formula view, so you want to switch to that with expand appearance if you want to create this new shape. There are corner tools in here as well, so don't forget that little circle is the corner tool, and see how that changed the whole effect right there even more. Now with the corner tool, if you push up and down arrow, it changes the type of corner that it is. There's like 4 choices. Okay. I can also take just one of those corners, so if I select the white arrow, see I just have one corner tool. Now I can take that corner and I can change it in just that one corner. Okay, so you can use corner tool within the formula view just like you did before. Even like I'll apply that over here. If I take this shape, and actually I don't want to ungroup that now, but let's say I take a rectangle and I just want to curve the bottom edge of this. I'll select the bottom 2 anchors, and I'll grab that corner tool and I'll lift that up, and now it's a curved rectangle at the bottom, square at the top. Okay. So I got off track a little bit, so here let me just make a new star, and let's just do the same old star. There we go. Okay, so moving on under Effects, Distort and Transform, Roughen. Make sure you apply Preview, and you can change how that will roughen, maybe just a little bit, a little detail, or a lot of detail. You can try the difference between absolute and relative. See, there's a difference in how it constructs those. Also try smooth versus corner, which is straight and angular. Okay, so I took a beginning idea like star, but I just made it into an old weathered star, and maybe I'll take a few dots out of here like eroded metal. Okay, so you can take something very simple and add pizzazz to it like this. Okay, let's go under Effect, Distort and Transform, and the next one I'll go to is Tweak. We're going to skip Transform for now, come back to that later. Tweak, preview, and you can see, again, it changes the horizontal and vertical points. So you can do it by a little bit, or you can do it by a lot. Okay, I just totally changed that shape altogether. And you can try how it modifies each thing and see how that changes the look. Alright, next one under Distort Transform is Twist. I like this one here for the star. So if I just want to add a little bit of a twist to my star without having to build this whole thing with the pen tool, I'll do it with these extra effect tools like we have. So there we go, and we have a little twist. And let's go under Distort and Transform, and for zigzag, we'll see what that does for my star, and say OK. And this adds kind of a nice snowflake look. Let's make a smooth one, and you see you get some kind of cool radial effects going on here. Okay. Again, oh, there's a cog now. This created out of star, I made a cog. So the more you can play around with these tools to see what they can do, the more you know your options for later and how it affects shapes. Okay, next one is we've gone through this pretty much this whole list except for transform. So try those out and see what they do. The next list, there's this a few in stylize. We're not going to do anything with the soft edge and glows for this one, but one I do use is rounded corners. And on this, it's kind of like our corner tool, which works just as well, but you can really fine tune it. You can do it by number, so you know, if you want a certain specific number, you can do it right there. And the last one within the stylized grouping is scribble. This one actually scribbles on the inside, which is kind of cool. Or you can do configurations for that outside, but it gets a little crazy there. You should be able to change your angles. You can change many things about how those scribbles line up. Of course, you want it to make sense. So work with the settings here to figure out how that would work best for your shape. Alright, so we have the warp tools. Try those out. We have many of the effects under Distort and Transform. I'll accept Transform for now. And we have a few under Stylize. Okay. The more you get to know these, the easier you'll be able to use Illustrator to create interest in your shape. Instead of trying to build something completely, you build something simple and then you let Illustrator add the pizzazz. You know, I want to add one more here. The warp tools. It's on my list. I almost forgot it. The warp tools are similar than you would see these in other programs, simple programs like the arc, the flag. So these, again, add certain curves. What I like about this menu is that it gives you this drop down at the top. So once you get started, you can just kind of try all of the effects and see how they affect that shape. And they're all similar, but they're all using the same controls down below here. Okay, so try those out and see how they would add interest and pizzazz to your simple shapes. Okay, so that concludes the list. Let me go over this one more time. So Distort and Transform, Stylize, a couple out of there, which we have these bottom two down here, and then the warp menu. Okay, and don't forget the warp tools. See what those can do with a simple shape. And when you are working with multiple shapes, make sure you group with Command G, and also use your alignment tools so that you can align things together and have them straight and they look the way they should look. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope it helps. Go practice, go play a little bit.